Hey there, everyone. Dr. Beth Westy here. Whew! I have been trying to jump on and do this live for at least 45 minutes, but it just wasn't happening. My son decided to, we have this little contraption where you can swing from a beam in our basement, and he cut his foot on the couch. It's a couch. And then bandaged him up, sent him away, was getting ready, and did it again, and he really gashed it open. So, kids, it's great. So sometimes life happens and life doesn't go according to plan, which leads right into stress, right? This is perfect. This is exactly what I just needed to be talking about tonight. When stress is high in your life, hi Sheila, one of the things to think about is how it impacts your overall function of everything. It throws off everything a lot. And I know that's sort of a general blanket statement, but it is incredible at the huge, systemic effect. Like all these different systems in your body get impacted in a negative way when you have a lot of stress. And so a lot of women will feel like, I'm struggling so much, I'm not seeing results, I'm going to the gym, I'm trying to exercise. Exercise is good for stress, right? Not if you have chronic stress that's at an amount where your body can't recover from it. Then it's too much. So really looking at, how much stress you have on a day-to-day basis. And stress comes from, the thoughts that you're having. So keeping tabs on that can be kind of exhausting or mentally, tough to examine. Are you worried all the time? Do you have a constant worry going on? Are you constantly thinking of a pressing engagement or thing or project that is just getting you and you're just all the time? That feeling causes a chain reaction of stress in your body. Now, I've talked about this before, so I'm just going to touch on it quick because it's important to mention here. And I have a whole section in my book, The Female Fat Solution, on stress, just because it's that important. In my new book, the one that I'm working on still, the Nutrition for Female Athletes, I'm going to be diving into stress and how stress impacts your performance, your endurance, everything else. Because again, it's just that important. Now, when you're under a lot of stress, it tells your body to store more fat. What you appreciate appreciates. Same goes for negativity. Ooh, Julie. Yes, hashtag that. What you appreciate appreciates. Yes, in terms of stress. Yeah, so what you're focusing on. Exactly. Oh, I love it. Okay, so your body, the female body is already designed to store fat. This is where it's tougher for women. This is where we're dealt the tougher cards in handling stress because our bodies are already designed to store fat. That's what they do naturally. Great, right? Super duper. But when you're under stress, it kicks in that fat storage component. All of a sudden, your body can store fat like that. And it will do it off of nothing. Even if you're not eating enough. Even if you're eating just salads or celery sticks or whatever. You're like, there isn't even fat in the food I'm eating. It doesn't matter. It will convert whatever you're eating and it will store it in your fat cells. It will take proteins that you're eating and store it in your fat cells as sugars. When you're under this kind of a stress. It's called gluconeogenesis. It's a really fun process. And for women, it can be so frustrating. It's also going to decrease how easy it is to build muscle, keep muscle, maintain your lean muscle mass. When you're under a lot of stress, you're not going to see the same amount of progress. You just can't because, again, your body's focused on something totally different. Boo! Yes. Yes, stress increases cortisol. Yes, when I talk about stress, I'm talking about the stress hormone cortisol and the effect of cortisol on your system. So muscle building doesn't happen. So keeping your metabolism going and being a fat burning machine all day long because you've got this great lean muscle. Nope, doesn't really happen when you've got that, cortisol going on there when you're under that stress. So that kind of stinks. Now the other piece here in terms of, because I just talked about other hormone issues and estrogen dominance the past couple of days. I did some videos on estrogen dominance. And if you missed those, go back and watch them. There's a ton of content in them. But when you look at overall hormone dysfunction, stress can lead to hormone dysfunction, which leads to a lot of other issues. It can lead to It can lead to estrogen dominance, which can like trigger things and play a part in PCOS, endometriosis, all these things that women really struggle with. Fertility issues, not just the weight loss, weight gain issue, right? I can't lose weight and I just keep gaining weight, but real bad issues in terms of your reproductive health. Thyroid gets thrown in there too, because why leave it out? Because cortisol's just gonna take over everything and ruin it all. Sorry. Yep. Just sweating right now because I get a little worked up about how much this impacts people. Okay, but I want to go over hormone dysfunction and how this happens, because I think it's really important to get a good grasp of how that works for your body. Your estrogen and progesterone. So sorry, estrogen is always blue for me when I draw it because it's cooling. Your basal body temperature is lower. Blue is a cool color. Okay. And so when we talk about, and I did a segment on the Jason show today, which was super fun. And estrogen here, does some specific things in the body, so I know, right? Don't get stressed out as I'm talking about stress. Oh my God. Oh, this is good for me. This is like cathartic for me to do this. Progesterone here is in red. So those are the two hormones that we're talking about. Now, the important thing about this overall, I'm not going to get into details of them right now, but overall, the pattern of your hormones is really, really important for their overall function and to keep them in balance. So the estrogen dominance comes on when progesterone doesn't keep estrogen in check. There should be a point where estrogen is higher and then it should dip down. It shouldn't be higher and then stay high the whole time, because that doesn't allow normal hormone function to happen and continue to happen, throughout the month, and then again the next time and again the next time. So estrogen is supposed to keep progesterone in check, and progesterone is supposed to keep estrogen in check and have that ebb and flow in a consistent, right? And if it doesn't happen, though, it continues to throw things off, which can throw off your ovulation. It can delay ovulation, prevent ovulation. It can throw off when your period starts. So these are things like a simple way to look at it or think about when this may have happened in your life is if you've been in a stressful situation or you've been really stressed out, and the overall impact it has on your system and your body. So, oh my gosh, I'm so stressed out. I've being a student in school, right? Undergrad, getting your bachelor's degree or grad school. Holy cow, grad school was so stressful for me. It's grad school, right? And it can really play an impact on when you have a regular cycle, right? So if you're under a lot of stress, it can delay your cycle. Not meaning like, 28 days and then 29 days and then you get stressed out because you're like, oh crap, am I pregnant? Oh my God, right? And then you're like 30 days, 32 days, holy crap, what's happening to me? And then you start to feel even crazier because now your hormones are off and you're feeling it in your body and your period's not starting and there's just all this stress there, right? And it's because of stress that it's setting that off, that's not coming around again, right? That the hormones aren't keeping each other in check. And it's very similar to like if you've ever, been really stressed out at work and then you finally get to go on vacation and you go on vacation and your body just shuts down and you get really sick, right? You're just like, I got so sick on vacation and right? Because you were exhausted and your body was totally tapped out. That's stress impact your entire system. So great. So when we look at estrogen, progesterone, and how the stress will cause some of that hormone dysfunction, I have a question. You may have mentioned the other night about getting hormone levels checked. How would you know when you are in your cycle if you are perimenopausal? Excellent question, Sheila. Yes. So perimenopause or menopause, or if you don't have a cycle like this, right? Like you've had a hysterectomy or something like that. It's important to know that you still have these hormones in your body, just on a much smaller scale. But so you can still, I talk about eating for your cycle and that type of a thing, but also know that without the higher levels of estrogen to build lean muscle, stress has an even more powerful impact on your body in terms of, muscle decreasing the muscle building and really increasing fat storage. If you're in perimenopause or menopause and you've got stress, this guy right here, buzzing, really goes nuts, really just like fires up like no other. All for you. So nice. It's so nice. So either way though, it still can throw off something. So what stress will do, what the cortisol, this is running out. I guess my kids are playing with this marker. What cortisol will do is it will start to steal estrogen and progesterone. So it'll take some of this estrogen, and estrogen is supposed to be in charge of helping some of that muscle building and getting your metabolism going. And it will start to decrease the amount here of estrogen, right? And now progesterone. Now, this is not an exact science, right? This is, an example of what can happen. And now progesterone is too much. And so then that cycle gets really thrown off and things are totally wonky because it took some of that estrogen to help feed that cortisol monster, right? It's like this big avalanche that gets going and it's like, I'm going to take everything in my path. And it takes some of that estrogen levels get thrown off. Progesterone is too much now. And it can do the exact opposite too. It can happen here where progesterone just doesn't get to come up as much. And then estrogen just seems to be too big here, but it's because of the cortisol really, steals it essentially. And it can do that with thyroid, right? It causes thyroid dysfunction and other things like that. And then affect your metabolism, affect your results. So again, you can be busting your butt, just getting to the gym, doing all these things, feeling like, and then nothing's happening. I'm not feeling any different. I'm not seeing any results, or I feel like I'm getting stronger maybe. Like I can tell there's some muscle underneath all that fat, but the fat's not moving. Kicked in big time. Big time. Yes. Beck, you hate stress. Wow, that's insane. Yes, it is insane. It's totally crazy. And it makes me crazy and stressed out to talk about it. Just kidding. But that's one of the things where cortisol will literally affect how well your estrogen and progesterone can function and work together. Yes, it's like, oh my God. So then what do, right? Like spend your whole, quit your job, stay home, live at the beach, just, right? No. So in my 12-week program where I work with women, this is one of the things we focus on, getting your body to increase its capacity to handle stress. That's a big key, because the thing about it is that as much as it would be so fantastic to just cut the stress out, right? Don't get my cortisol levels up. I know, right? Right. I'm having tea. I'm also eating I was just eating my protein cookie dough because I gotta eat my protein. That helps battle that stress and really helps my body fight the stress off, right? It is very discouraging. Yes, it's very discouraging to learn about some of this stuff where you're like, what the heck? So it's not about, you can do what you can do, right, to handle stress. Of course, there's, meditation, getting massage regularly, acupuncture, getting adjusted, all of those things, right? Seeing a therapist if you need to, all of this stuff. So it's really important to take care of that. But the other thing is too, so, if your job is just really stressful, like if you're a 911 operator, that it is what it is, right? You're never going to go to work and think, oh, today was an easy day, right? It is what it is. So it's a different way of looking at, okay, here's the stress. Let's increase your capacity, your body's ability to fight back against that stress, right? So we do that through protein pacing. We do that through our nutrition. We do that through adaptogens and herbs that literally help decrease the stress in your body. And then we do that through helping, because again, once this gets offset here, there's a lot of work to do. It's like you dig a big hole, right? Like it's like you're just sitting in this hole. Like you can't move forward and you can't make progress because there's just this huge hole that you're sitting in. So you got to climb up out of the hole, and then get going. So that's where when this is dysfunction and all these other things, you got to do what you can do to climb up out of the hole. Yes. What was it? Does insulin levels have anything to do with cortisol or other hormones? That's a good question. Insulin, it doesn't necessarily cause your cortisol levels to rise. I'm really referring to cortisol in terms of like the stress in your everyday life, all of that stuff, and how your body responds to it and that type of a thing. When your stress is out of control, it will throw off your insulin levels and your blood sugar levels, because your body's going to be needing different nutrients. So if that answers, if that makes sense, I'll put a link below where if you want to schedule a call with me, if you have questions, you can schedule a call. I'm more than happy to chat and just, see if there's like things like that. If I'm answering your question correctly, or if there's things that you have questions on for you, I'm more than happy to chat with you and kind of navigate some of that. So many women are stressed out that it causes many issues with their house. Yes. There's a lot of women that this causes. Okay, good. That's helpful. Excellent. So yeah, there's a lot of women that struggle with this, where they're thinking, I just gotta suck it up. Suck it up, buttercup, right? Like I saw that on a tank top today. Suck it up, buttercup. Okay, sure. But realize that it's not just about, suck it up and get going. You know what I mean? That's not what it's about. It's not about just, bucking through and pushing yourself harder. No, right? If your body's breaking down, if there's something going on, it's your body like giving you a big flashing neon sign like, yeah, hey, whoa, buddy, pay attention to me because something's off and you need to fix it. So the other really fun part about this, I just feel like I'm giving so much happy news to correct this. This can take months. If you have full on like adrenal fatigue, it can take 18 months to work on. That's a year and a half. Yep. Yes, a year and a half. So keep that in mind in terms of working on things, getting this taken care of. Does it go away? You can work with it. You can increase your capacity. You just got to have the patience for it. And not get stressed out about how long it takes. Sorry. It's not funny. But seriously, like give your body, like there's like increments of progress you'll see along the way. But that's one of the things when I work with women in my program that we focus on a lot is the stress aspect, how to help your body deal with the stress that you're exposed to better, how to get your body stronger, increase the capacity, get it to fight it off and get it to manage it so much better so it doesn't have this nasty effect in your system, and then to work on really getting the rest of the hormones in sync and functioning like they should, as your body is on the right path to healing. It's a great process, and it's amazing when it starts to shift. It doesn't just go away. Yes, insulin resistance. Yes, got to take care of your body, because if you this can really deplete people. And the one thing too, again, when we talk about the hormones and everything, and I always like to talk about this because, again, really take a look at yourself right now. Are you in a place where you're like, you know what? I'm not that stressed out. Things are okay. Great. Or are you like secretly just trying to be like, no, it's fine. Yet you barely feel like you're treading with your head above water, and you're like, if I stop paddling as quick as I'm paddling, I'm totally going to drown right now. Oh my gosh, right? That and that can be a reality for people. Like, don't feel bad. It is what it is. It is what it is. And there's a lot of things you can do to take charge of that, to start getting more energy back, to start getting in control of that and not feeling so friggin' helpless against it, because that's the really frustrating thing, and that, it is what it is in terms of life. Like sometimes life is just like that. We all go through phases like that where it just will hit the fan, So don't believe what everybody posts on Facebook. Seriously, like literally, like there's stress and everybody's like literally, as I was trying to come on and do this live video, I'm not kidding, my kid, my 12-year-old, should not have been, he just cut his foot doing it. He did it once and then he did it again. Gash on his toe, on his foot. I'm not kidding, the gash is like this long. I literally was like, I might have to take him in to get stitches. That's just life, you know what I mean? But I know that my body, and I have my routines down. I really focus on gut health and everything else, and making sure my body is strong enough to fight against all of that stress and cortisol. So take an honest look at your life. Take an honest look at where you're at and how hard you're pushing yourself to try and get a result, when really it's not necessarily push harder. It's you just need a different angle. You know what I mean? Like, don't try and run through a brick wall. Just simply walk around it. Might take a little bit longer to walk around it, but you're not gonna have to beat your head against a brick wall, if that makes sense. Look at yourself in the mirror. You can tell when people are stressed, right? Like their face looks different. It looks like tired, or just, because stress impacts your entire system. So I kind of went on a little rant about the stress and how it impacts your hormones, but hopefully this kind of paints a good picture of, yes, it does impact your hormones. Yes, it can cause all these other symptoms and like throw off your cycle and all those things. It is a big one, and something you constantly have to keep in check. And if you are getting to a point where you're like, all this stuff seems like a lot of work, good. It is a lot of work. It's a lot of work. It's work to stay healthy. I don't want to say a lot of work. It is effort to stay healthy. But the benefit of that is that you're not having to all of a sudden do a bunch of work because you are so far behind in terms of your health. So, yes. Anyway, all right, that's the info I got for you guys tonight. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you found this helpful, please share this with somebody that you know that needs this info on stress. It's just my mission to share as much information with women as possible to empower them so that you can, take charge of your health and realize, hey, you're not alone. You're not crazy. This is a thing. It does throw off your hormones, and there's a lot of things that you can do to move forward from this place that you're in. So I'll put a link below if you want to schedule a call. More than happy. Otherwise, let me know of any other questions that you guys have, and I will see you later.